When you can only get a quarter of your MPs to publicly back you, the game is up. And so the starting gun for the Labour leadership contest has been fired.
That was the warning from Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch in Parliament. And it captures the growing crisis around Prime Minister Keir Starmer. 2 years after Labour's 2024 landslide, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is fighting for his political survival, and there are plenty of Labour figures primed to try and take his spot. After a crushing defeat in the 2026 local elections, more than 1,200 council seats lost, Nigel Farage's Reform UK surged through Labour heartlands, taking councils and winning over 1,300 seats nationwide.
So I will take Labour defections. He'll be lucky to still be there by midsummer, would be my guess. But as I say, personally, I think he's a great chap and I really want him to stay.
Starmer's approval ratings have collapsed, with critics branding him one of the most unpopular leaders in modern British politics. Labour had promised economic renewal and lower living costs. But many voters say those promises have gone unfulfilled. Even Starmer now admits the government hasn't delivered the change people expected. He was then forced into a defensive press conference, widely seen as an attempt to steady his leadership amid growing unrest.
And some people frustrated with me. I know I have my doubters, and I know I need to prove them wrong, and I will.
And now Labour is facing an unthinkable question. Could they move against their own Prime Minister? And one name keeps coming up: Health Secretary Wes Streeting. Wes Streeting has long been viewed as one of Labour's most ambitious rising figures. But recent reports claiming allies around him built a quiet, shadow operation for a future leadership race have sent panic through Westminster. As Keir Starmer struggles after disastrous election results, many Labour MPs now believe Streeting is positioning himself as a potential successor.
I will not be challenging the Prime Minister at the budget or at any other time.
So you do have ambition to be Prime Minister?
I'm not giving this story any more legs or any more news lines. I think it is silly Westminster bubble nonsense.
Streeting is seen as one of Labour's strongest media performers, with sharper political instincts and a more aggressive style than Starmer. And while he remains closely linked to Peter Mandelson, many inside Labour increasingly see him as the cabinet figure best placed to eventually replace the Prime Minister. Then there's Andy Burnham. For many Labour members, the great what-if figure in modern Labour politics. Unlike much of Labour's frontbench, Burnham built his reputation outside Westminster, becoming hugely popular during COVID after publicly clashing with Boris Johnson over regional funding. And crucially, many voters see Burnham as more authentic than Keir Starmer. But there's one major problem: Burnham isn't an MP. Earlier this year, Labour's NEC blocked his attempt to return to Westminster through a by-election, with reports claiming Starmer himself opposed the move. Now, after Labour's disastrous election results, that decision is facing renewed scrutiny. As pressure grows on Starmer, rumours are already circulating that a Labour MP could step aside to create a safe seat for Burnham. If that happened, he would instantly become one of the most serious potential challengers to Starmer's leadership. Then there's Energy Secretary Ed Miliband. And strangely enough, he may now look more politically relevant than he has in years. Miliband has quietly rebuilt his reputation after years of ridicule following Labour's 2015 defeat. Today, many younger Labour members see him as one of the few senior figures in government with genuine ideological conviction. His focus on climate, industrial policy and energy security increasingly appears more substantial than the vague managerial politics many critics now associate with Starmerism. Would Miliband actually run again? Probably only if Labour entered full-scale meltdown.
No, my support is clear for Keir. Keir is a man who was elected 18 months ago with a historic mandate. I believe Keir is a man who will lead us into the next general election. I believe he's earned the right to do that. And I know what motivates Keir, which is this country has been run for too long for the rich and powerful, not for ordinary working people, and that needs to change. And I think you're going to be hearing a lot more about that from Keir in the months ahead.
But politics has a habit of reviving figures once considered finished. And in a chaotic leadership contest, experienced politicians suddenly become attractive again, especially if the party starts searching for stability rather than factional warfare. There are also outsiders quietly being discussed. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper is respected across much of the parliamentary party and seen as highly competent. London Mayor Sadiq Khan still has major national recognition, although returning fully to Westminster politics would be complicated. And Scottish Labour leader Ornas Sawar is increasingly viewed as one of the party's rising long-term figures after distancing himself from some of the chaos surrounding Starmer's government. But right now, the real battle appears centred around Streeting, Burnham and Miliband, three completely different visions of what Labour should become after Starmer. For now, Keir Starmer remains Prime Minister, but the mood around his government has shifted dramatically. After bruising local elections and the rapid rise of Nigel Farage's Reform UK, pressure inside Labour is growing fast.
As a political and electoral force, we will be better and do better in the months and years ahead.
That press conference wasn't just about policy, it was about political survival. And once a party starts talking about successors, the question is no longer if a leader can fall, but when.
No, I'm not going to walk away and plunge the country into chaos. We were elected to deal with these challenges, and that's what we will do.